So just to quickly introduce you to who I am, I joined the Citizens Foundation last March to work on No Planet B, and I'm very interested in digital democracy, but also sort of climate activism and youth climate activism. So I've done quite a lot of work with the UK Student Climate Network and the Sunrise Movement as well. So I'll just share my screen and then talk you through No Planet B. Here we go. Sharing. Brilliant. Cool. So No Planet B is a project that we, the Citizens Foundation, are working on with Fridays for Future. And in short, it's essentially an intergenerational global climate dialogue. So the concept behind No Planet B is that the coronavirus pandemic has shown us that governments can take really quite radical action to hasten innovation in science and protect human life. I mean, at one point, a third of the global population were under lockdown measures at the same time. So governments have been very proactive in responding to coronavirus, as they should be. But we think they need to do the same for the even graver existential threat, arguably, that is the climate crisis. So we want to launch an online dialogue to really amplify the voices of young people and crowdsource real policy recommendations from millions of citizens in multiple rounds over many years. So we're working with Fridays for Future on this project because we really want to, like I said, amplify our voices, and because young people need to be at the heart of change and discussion on the climate crisis. So right now we have 24 countries signed up to the project. You can see a list here. So we've got representation of pretty much every continent. From Africa, we've got the Ivory Coast, we've got Sudan. From Asia, we have Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan. From Latin America, we've got El Salvador. So we've got a pretty wide coverage of the globe, and a further 28 countries are interested in the project as well. So that's almost sort of half of Fridays for Future countries around the globe. And for the second round, we aim to get pretty much all Fridays for Future countries on board. So that's around 100 plus countries. So the problem that we want to solve or address with No Planet B is the lack of action and constructive dialogue in dealing with the will of young people around the planet who have the most to lose in the face of catastrophic climate change. So Fridays for Future has been remarkably successful and has really, really changed the debate on climate change and catalyzed a lot of action, but it's still not enough is being done. And so we want to continue to put pressure on politicians and continue to host that dialogue. So our solution is to utilize this proven model of engagement, as I'm sure you've heard a lot about from Robert already, to really elevate the voices of young people, connect youth with those in power in a constructive deliberation conducted in a safe, non-toxic, public online space to work towards solving the climate crisis. So our project partners, we have 5 main project partners. We've got the Fridays for Future national groups, of course, the Citizens Foundation, but then Fridays for Future International as well. So we're working with them to kind of coordinate the Fridays for Future national groups, and then the University of Iceland and other universities. So what we want to do is, with each round of dialogue, we want to sort of analyze the results at the end with the University of Iceland and other universities to really show sort of the concrete policy recommendations that are coming out of these dialogues. And then media partners as well. We want to partner with some media outlets to then publish those policy recommendations that we analyze from the dialogues, and to just continue to sort of generate momentum around the project. So the team, on the Citizens Foundation side, there's me, project leader, Dave Parsons, who's on operations, Maren, who's the creative lead, Josh on content, and Robert on marketing and technical. But then on the Fridays for Future side, they will localize their country platforms, do local marketing and PR, and will be involved in the local dissemination of the results to media and policymakers. So the idea is that they can really use the outcomes of the dialogues to go to their decision makers themselves and say, this is what the people want, now we need to enact it. So it's probably easiest to really understand what No Planet B is about if we take you through a demo. So here we go. So this is the intro page. This is the intro page for the UK site. So essentially people would be scrolling on social media, they'd click on an ad that would take them to their country level website, and this is what it would look like. So you've got a little introduction, kind of explaining what the project is about, and then below you have these groups, and these groups kind of are there to categorize the ideas, make it a bit easier to navigate the site, and easier to also analyze the results in the wake of the dialogues. Then this is an idea page. So if you go in on one of the groups and click in on an idea, this is what it will look like. You have your title, so Welcome Climate Refugees, and a little introduction kind of explaining what the project is about, or what the idea is about rather, sorry, and kind of setting the terms of the debate. And then below you've got points for and points against. So you can debate the idea back and forth. And then this is what it looks like to add an idea. So you write in your title, you write in your description, and then you can add a point for, or even a voice recording or a video if that is easier for people. And then this is what it looks like to add a deliberation point. So you just click write point for or write point against, or create a video or speech, and you can start debating the idea straight away, which is very exciting. So the outcomes of the project, it's really cool that we can get outcomes on both a country level and a global level. So on a country level, you get really country-specific solutions to local environmental changes, because the same kind of responses to the climate crisis you can't really have the same responses in different countries, because one country is going to be facing desertification, another sea level rise. So you need really local solutions. And it will also result in increased awareness of climate change as an issue. So some of the Fridays for Future partners that we're working with, for example, Fridays for Future Pakistan, have said climate change just isn't really an issue when it comes around to election time. So hopefully this No Planet B will help to kind of capitalize further discussion and further momentum, and try to sort of bring in climate change into policy discussions and elections and politics. And then on a global level, what is really cool is that we, like I said, we want to partner with the University of Iceland and some other universities to analyze the results and kind of draw out the global solutions and global policy recommendations, as well as on a local level. So you kind of look for commonalities across all of the different country level platforms. So we'll have those kind of two levels of analysis we can work with. In terms of process, so right now we're in the funding process, still looking for funders. We've had some pretty exciting calls though with Oxfam, with Facebook, and now we're sort of narrowing down our list to 15 to 20 funders, which we really want to focus on and are going to target. So hopefully we'll have a breakthrough with funding soon. And then when that happens, we can launch the project with online marketing. So that's mostly through social media, through Facebook, through Instagram. And then we'll let the dialogues run. In the wake of that, we'll process the results with our university partners using both human and AI analytics, and then release those policy recommendations with our global media partners. and also help the Fridays for Future groups to share the results with their national governments and their local media. And then we'll repeat that process in a multi-year project and kind of scale up each time, get more Fridays for Future groups on board, and sort of make it bigger and bigger each time. In terms of funding model, so like I said, we're in the funding process right now. We're raising money from foundations, philanthropists, and companies. And this is kind of the breakdown of funds that we're going to have. So 80%, the vast majority, is going to go to online marketing, because as Robert probably already explained, the more ads you have, the more people click on them, the more people go onto the platform, the more people add ideas and debate, and the bigger the project becomes. And then 15% to the Citizens Foundation for the development and hosting and operation of the project, and 5% for our university partners as well. So that is an overview of everything No Planet B. So I'd love to answer some questions if anybody has any. Nice. Cool. I mean, I don't think anybody has any questions then, so back to you, Robert.
Yeah, there's one. Yeah, so please go ahead with your question.
Yeah. Hello, Sophia. I'm from Latvia. My name is Dyvik. I'm from My Voice organization. The question is about this triple F partners from Latvia. We noticed that there is also Latvia participating. Whom exactly?
So it's the Fridays for Future group, centered in Riga, I think, who we're working with. I think our specific contact is called Gabby. She's very active in Fridays for Future Riga. Yeah, they're incredible.
Could you get us in contact? Well, on the sidelines.
Sure. I mean, I'd happily through Robert.
Yeah.
No problem.
And I mean, they are very active on social media as well, so easy to reach. But yeah, be happy to put you in contact with their email as well.
Yeah, and one of the reasons for actually we wanted to show this project here is that we know that Code Europe is has a strong connection to climate change. Obviously, we're looking at the air quality, and we are openly looking for partners. We're looking for ideas of anybody who would fund a project like this. It's not really a project that fits well into for example, EU funding mechanisms. There's like it was quite a challenge actually to contact all the Fridays for Future organizations, and they're not really the type of organizations that sign up to EU funding. That takes several years to process and all that. So yeah, I mean, we are very much any facilitations of introductions and so on connecting to this. We're very happy to do this. Please, Simon.
Yes. I'm not sure if maybe I missed it. You don't have any partners from Slovenia, I guess. And if you would like to have some contacts with Slovenian NGOs and environmental groups, we have a good relationship with them. We also cooperated from previous participation projects. I'm gladly to help to get someone on board from Slovenia also.
I mean, yeah, that'd be brilliant. I think we contacted Fridays for Future Slovenia, but they sadly haven't gotten back to us. But so that would be brilliant. Yeah, if you have any contacts.
There's quite a lot happening on these Fridays for Future in Slovenia, mainly from the secondary school students, but they're not back at school because they were there. So maybe I can contact some NGOs who are also supporting their activities. Maybe you can find some people who will be willing to help you. Yeah.
That would be brilliant.
And I will do this via Robert, okay? And then Robert can contact you.
Perfect.
Great. Thank you so much, Simon.
Welcome.
Elisa.
Yeah, no, I had just one question out of curiosity. If you were working together also with Greta on, does she know about this initiative that you're going to be launching it? Is she, aware of this? And the second thing is what Robert was mentioning. I was already thinking about a way in which we could, in some way collaborate through the Code Europe project and this project. But at the moment, I think we should brainstorm a bit, but it could be like also, let's say, while we're running the Code Europe project, some sort of cross advertisement, let's say, like to make sure that the people that we reach out to in the Code Europe project for the crowdsourcing next year, also, if there are young people, also are aware of this other platform, and also vice versa, if your platform will be launched in the different countries, maybe, you know, the people from, you know, students and the young people from the 9 countries where we will be having our crowdsourcing on air quality, you could kind of reference to them to come and, you know, give their thoughts on air quality, and especially like for the outcome on EU policies and things like that. So I was already thinking about how we could, and maybe we can talk about this more in the upcoming months as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to take your first question on Greta, so we've contacted Fridays for Future Sweden, and we were in contact with essentially somebody very close to Greta, but we haven't reached her directly, but we're working on it.
I was just thinking more about promotional reasons, you know. Yeah. I mean, if she would actually endorse something like that, I think, I mean, not only your project, but also like on our project, I think that that would be a great way of, you know, bringing people to actually contribute and, you know, bringing discussion points mainly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, yes, as, you know, as Sophia said, you know, we have been in some contact with, you know, the Swedish branch, and you know, we'll see what comes out of that. I say we have, you know, 24, you know, national organizations that have signed up, but there are literally, you know, 20, 30 more that are interested, that have shown interest in this.
Yeah.
You know, one of the challenges with Fridays for Future organization is that it's totally decentralized. It's totally volunteer-based. That's the ethos of the movement. And that's been what's been also a bit of a struggle in terms of, you know, figuring out how we can fund this, you know. And so we, for example, we've not seen any pass through regular sort of EU calls and so on. And so that's sort of a one sort of key element of it. But as soon as we manage to get the first round going with those projects, we are very confident that other national groups will follow, because both, they have told us they're interested, many of them, but when the project will actually be actualized, there's a lot of ideas flowing around, you know, obviously, you know, and but as soon as this project will be actualized, then, you know, we're very confident that we'll get you know, the whole you know, Fridays for Future movement, you know, behind us.
Thanks a lot. Anyway, very interesting initiative, so let's hope.
Thank you.